Madam Nina Burjanadze, what a great delight to be able to talk to you. Welcome to A News.
It's a pleasure to have an opportunity to send my best wishes to your people and to your country. I wish success, peace and prosperity. I always very happy to be here in Baku.
Thank you very much indeed. It's not your first time here in Baku. It's not the first time that you're attending Global Baku Forum organized by Nizami Ganjavi International Center. What is new on this occasion? How it is different in terms of atmospherics, for example?
You know, atmosphere always very friendly and very interesting in these forums. Right now, of course, the situation was a little bit different because of tensions that exist in the world. Everybody were worried about today and tomorrow's day. But what I would like to say is that this is really a very interesting forum because too many experienced people are here. And it's really interesting to listen to them because we are not only just speaking about recent situation, but we are trying to find some recipes for future, how to solve the problems which exist and what is a way out from the crisis which is so threatened everybody. It was a very interesting discussion concerning Middle East. We just spoke about the future of international law, especially right now when we can speak more than international disorders than international order. These kind of discussions are very interesting.
Of course, you're a lawyer yourself by training. There are a number of questions about international legal order, international law, but Azerbaijan recovered its territorial integrity. Georgia still is facing the massive challenge regarding the 20% of the territory which is under Russian occupation. But on the whole, how concerned are you as a lawyer, as a statesman, as a lady of vision about what they call collapse of the international order?
I am very much concerned, and unfortunately I have to agree that in many directions and in general international order collapsed, and we need to find some new mechanisms how to restore international order. Of course, we shouldn't repeat the same as we had in after Second World War, because world have been changed and we need new recipes and new possibilities. But there were some very important values and principles which we should respect. And for the representative of a small country, I mean small by population and territory, and let's say strengths, of course international order is very important, because international order should defend not only interest of big countries and superpowers, but first of all interests of small countries. And equality, respect of each other's interest should be as a line for international order institutions. I think it was quite interesting when we are speaking also here about changes concerning UN and UN system, because it's said, but it's for sure that United Nations is not as effective in today's world as we wanted to see. Many people are speaking about the reformation or transformation of United Nations and the Council and the United Nations Security Council. It's not an easy process, of course, because of veto of permanent members, because of some other things. But I'm sure that in nearest future, in very short term, there will be some kind of very serious agreement, I hope so, concerning new international order, new world order, and I hope it will be fair. And it will be based on real equality, and it will respect interests of the members of international community. It will be not easy to do, but this is only one way. Otherwise, to live in international disorder, to live in the situation when one can just violate international order. It's something which is making this world unpredictable and not very safe.
What is the greatest challenge, you think, facing this region, South Caucasus, the three countries, Armenia, Azerbaijan and Georgia? We have Russia up in the north. What is happening in Ukraine, everybody knows that. Iran is being attacked by US and Israel. There are some legal questions about the judiciousness of that action. There's no international consensus regarding the legality. But everybody knows about those two developments. What else do you think constitutes danger to the prosperity and long-term future of this region?
Of course, first of all, we need peace. And for this region, it's very important that three Caucasus countries should stand together, let's say. So, you know, we Georgians, we are lucky. We had, during all these times after independence, very good and friendly relations with both Armenia and Azerbaijan and Armenia. Of course, it was difficult to see that there was tension and difficult relations between your countries. Fortunately, right now we are on a different stage, and I think it's really very positive that after serious tension and even war between your two nations, right now there is a peace agreement, there is possibility to speak with each other, to find dialogue, even to speak about economic development and relations. I said that it's a little bit easy to speak about friendship between Azerbaijan and Armenia, but I hope one day these relations also will be even more friendly. And for me, as for Georgian, it's very important to see this dynamic, because for Georgia it's very important to see that Azerbaijan and Armenian relations are getting better and better. It's giving us a serious possibility for cooperation, for common interests, for economic development, because this region is very important as a transit corridor with huge possibilities, and having peace and cooperation here is giving serious benefits for all of us, for Azerbaijan, for Armenia, and of course for Georgia. And I hope that we will be able to use this, but of course we need more, just a broader peace. Peace only on this region is not enough to have to implement, let's say, all these possibilities with this corridor has. We need peace in a broader sense of this world. And of course, we all worried about what is going on right now in Iran. I hope that in nearest, okay, it's difficult to say friendly, but nevertheless, I hope that this war will be ended soon. And in this case, of course, it will be more possibilities for us all.
Yeah, Azerbaijan was attacked on the 5th of March, as I'm sure you know. And interestingly enough, after that, there was a telephone exchange between Azerbaijani foreign minister and Armenian foreign minister, which is an extraordinary development. Two former enemies are consulting after what happened regarding with Azerbaijan. Do you think
it was very important? You know, first of all, of course, I worried very much when I when I saw this information about attack. And I would like to say that this, what you mentioned, is really a very positive sign, first of all. And of course, it was very important that your president, as always, had a very wise position, and it's difficult to be calm in this situation, but it's necessary not to make any kind of emotional decisions and steps. And I think that Azerbaijan position and position of your president was very correct, just to keep patient, to look what is going on, because of course maybe there were some forces who wanted to involve Azerbaijan in this terrible war. Unfortunately, we all avoid this.
We all know in this region only too well that in the face of external aggression, external challenge, taking emotional decisions is never a good idea. More about Azerbaijani-Armenian peace process and its possible implications for wider House of Caucasus, as we call it here in Azerbaijan. There are those, not many of those, but there are those who say that Georgia, as a transit country, has benefited massively over the past couple of decades. But now that Azerbaijan and Armenia are going to have this Trump route for international peace and prosperity, Georgia's role as a connector will be diminished. What do you make of this argument?
Oh, I don't think so, because I'm sure that if policy of Georgia and Georgian government will be correct, and I hope that it will be correct, in this case benefits will receive all three countries. Of course, there are some maybe new routes or new ideas and new possibilities, but also the possibilities which we already have could be used in a very positive way. So I don't think that good relations between Azerbaijan and Armenia or new connectivities between Azerbaijan and Armenia will damage Georgia, because Georgia has enough resources, I mean on the ground. I don't mean oil and gas, unfortunately, but other resources. I mean ports and just some corridors and some other possibilities, and the transit necessity from China or just other countries are so huge and big that I'm sure that it will be enough for all three countries and for whole region. But of course, everything should be done in a very clever way. And the role of Georgia, and it depends how Georgia will use these possibilities.
But Georgia's connectivity prowess is absolutely immense. Azerbaijan and Georgia together over the decades built middle corridor infrastructure here.
Absolutely.
BTC and other, of course, components of that connectivity landscape are there. Recently, when, I think it was in April, if memory serves me correctly, last year, when Ursula von der Leyen, President of the EU Commission, talked about Azerbaijan-Armenian peace process, the necessity of connecting Central Asia with Turkey via South Caucasus, he mentioned Azerbaijan, Armenia, Turkey and Central Asia. Did not say anything about Georgia. Recently, when EU Enlargement Commissioner Marta Kos was here in Azerbaijan, she extensively talked about coordination mechanism involving EU, Azerbaijan, Armenia and Turkey, without mentioning Georgia. Do you think this sort of approach, this sort of proclivity emanating from Europe is a source of serious concern for Georgia?
Yes, of course. It's pity, really, because being as a Speaker of the Parliament, as an acting President, as a politician, I did a lot to strengthen our cooperation with the European Union and with the West. And right now, to see this kind of messages from the side of European Union, of course, it's quite painful, and I'm sure that we Georgians should pay on that very serious relations. And I think that, and let's say like this, I don't like this, but I hope that this is because of quite, let's say, cold relations or difficult relations, difficulties which right now exist between Georgia now and European Union. There is some tension. I don't want to go in the details, but there is some tension between the government of Georgia and European Union. And I think that that Georgia was ignored, maybe some kind of emotional or and it's not a long-lasting strategy of Europe. And I'm sure that the problems will be solved, and Georgia will have its own place in this cooperation. Because, okay, let's say that in any case, some like it or not, without Georgia it will be quite difficult, if not impossible, to just establish this middle corridor or this transit capabilities. So I hope that these are just difficulties which will be solved in nearest future.
Madam Vajana, thank you very much for your time and for your answers. So grateful.
Thank you very much.